All is not lost today. Your brown eyes converted me and let me know that you're the right girl for me. You got me dreaming. I can't turn without you being there. So stop this mistreating me. I want to stay with you. I want to lay with you and just be your man. Be my girl. Be my girl. I want you to be my girl. I need you in a desperate way. All the girls I met were so full of play. It wouldn't even be a bother if I forgot their name. Oh shit, the Dramatics and Michael Henderson. It's one of rare times where they released the same record by two different people, other than when I heard it through the grapevine when number one, first by Marvin Gaye and then by Gladys Knights and the Pips. So here we go. We say, I didn't know which way to go. Now I feel like I'm the star of the show. Blue Argonite, baby. Sending that blue Argonite out to everybody. Okay, enough of this heavy motherfucker. Oh. All right. Oh well, it'll show up. It didn't cloak something. Oh. Well, good morning. Welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I'm your host, Big Pontiac, also known as Eight Wind, also known as the Time Lord. I am the holder of the infinite, continuous ball game that was created by the Hero Twins. And I am also your galactic daddy-o, sitting and welcoming each and every one of the Chocolate Mountaineers on my galactic patio from Minnesota to the universe. And tonight, even though we've got a couple on deck, we've got the founders, but we're going to go with Boulder beer with the shake. Because I like this one a little better, a little easier to drink. And look at that, just amber goodness. Look at that amber goodness. You wish you could be me right now, don't you? You just wish you could be me so bad and taste this amber goodness. Oh, look at that. So pop them if you got them. And tonight again, we're looking at the unicorn Luca. And so you just go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It vibrates and you just hold it. And smoke them if you want them. That'll put some shit on your mind. What's happening? King Kane, what's happening? My man Lobo, what is going on? Smooth mixed, what's happening? Hey, the amber goodness will be all. Oh, it is. You can believe it. I done bought them out this weekend. I bought one Thursday and I bought one yesterday. And that was all they had. All right. I guess Jackson's jump shot is what I'm trying. I guess I'll start with tonight. That's a perfect example of a dude who really shouldn't make hardly any. It is the form has a lot to do with it. Now, I'll say this. One of the best shooters I ever ran into, and you can look this cat up, he played in the Mid-American Conference at Central Michigan, was Melvin Mclaughlin. Melvin almost shot like Lorenzo Ball, somewhat. He had this kind of motion. He never really did this. He had this kind of motion, but it was the most perfect form. Like Lonzo didn't do it as sweet. Melvin had a kind of little hitch over here, but just the way he did it, he's one of the best shooters. He was the first guy that I really ran into in high school that could shoot deep. Every time I faced him, we blew him out because he was the only one. But he was one of the consistent dudes that had that little weird thing that he could consistently shoot long. Melvin was probably about my height, maybe a little shorter. I think at my youngest, I was probably close to 6'2". He was probably 6 foot, but around there. So I was a little bigger dude. Plus, had that 47-inch vertical. He didn't have that. But Jackson's shot, it's almost like he shoots like this. Like he almost shoots with his body in. Almost like somebody punched you in the stomach when you would try to shoot a jump shot. For some reason, better. He sticks his butt out. When he goes up, for some reason, he sticks his butt out. I don't know if y'all picked that. And he still has a little bit of throw to his shot. He still has a little bit, instead of this, he still has a little bit of that. Now, so that's why he shouldn't be successful. And it's mechanics and muscle memory. Whereas you have a cat like Brook Lopez that is basically a 7-footer shooting set shots. And that's what Magic Johnson had. He had a set shot. That's what Brook Lopez has. But again, perfectly lined up from his set shot. And that's the advantage of bigger guys. Bigger guys don't have to, it's a little easier. And he's not going to be challenged that often, so he has an easy set shot. But that's a big example. And that's why that I caught in the replay that I didn't see when I first did Clay shot, because I knew Clay missed it. But I didn't quite get how he missed it, other than it seemed like more force. But on replay, he changed his hand position. Like, watch that video I did of Klay Thompson, and you see on both shots, his hand positions are not the same. Because I was looking at everything, and then I saw a little stronger release, but in closer inspection, his hands were placed differently on both shots. Now, again, muscle memory, you have to have consistency. It has to, a free throw, like watch Calvin Murphy or even Rick Barry. When Rick Barry tossed it underhand, at one time almost everybody shot underhand, and people shot better. Wilt Chamberlain was like Shaq; he just couldn't get it, and Wilt was the most successful tossing it underhand. So this is a part of who should be successful and who shouldn't be successful. PJ, now see, look, this is 7 5/8. Yeah. This is 7 5/8, and you see this. This is all over me. So you and conspiracy, y'all got some big melons. Valerie, do I'm just joking though. I'm just joking with you, PJ. I'm just talking shit. Same with conspiracy. Hey, Valerie, do you wear sports gear? Or do you like any kind of gear? Let me know what kind of gear you like. And I'll do my best to see if I can get it. But if you like any kind of sports gear or what do you like, I can get all kind of stuff. So tell me what you like because I forget about the women. I know dudes like hats and sports stuff. So, but tell me what you are interested in. Now, definitely crystals. I'll send you some crystals for sure. I know there's a couple people out on crystals too. And I think Thursday, I might be able to go to the crystal shop. So let me know. The first game, it was interesting how the calls were really, really iffy the first game. I just talk shit. Ain't too bad. No, it ain't. I can wear it. I think this is probably my biggest hat though of all of them. This is probably my biggest because the color for the day is purple, and so that's why I had to figure out something purple. And this is definitely I bought this from I'm sure this is a knockoff. I've had this jersey probably 6-7 years. This jersey is old as my daughter. Yeah, this jersey's got to be old as my daughter because we was living out in Champlin. But I mean, again, the sold in letters, sold up here, but I'm pretty sure it's a knockoff. Nike, when they put Nike over here, this is matter of fact, this jersey is sold. I want to say it's the first year of the Nike contract. It's one of my oldest Vikings jersey, but anyway, a lot of iffy charging calls, not consistent a lot of times. But you can see kind of a push with Boston. Now, what's interesting is Boston has to come a little bigger because Memphis can be big. When they play Clark and Jackson out there at the same time, Memphis is a big squad. And so you saw how they was kind of outmanned. Now Hartford, man, they be giving him shots. I enjoy sports gear, not choosy. My granny raised me to be grateful. No. You gotta, if you like sports gear, you gotta tell me what kind. Tell me what kind of sports gear. Because, if you don't like hats, I did run into some women's Vikings. Yeah, it was kind of nice. Yeah, I know they got some women's Vikings, and it's not really a hockey jersey. It's kind of tied here. It's like a little tie and kind of like cut here with like a shiny stomach. Yeah. So, yeah. Shoot me your size and maybe I can add that one up. I remember my best friend said, nigga, you won't look right with no pea head. That's funny. I have a Reebok Viking Brett Favre. Oh, bet. Oh, I've run into a bunch. Like I've got Adrian Peterson that I'm supposed to send to my boy 15 years ago now because he's in the Merchant Marines and I keep losing track of him. So I got to send that stuff off to him. Because really, that Wiggins jersey, I was going to send him. So I need to, when I send this stuff out, I need to send that out too. But yeah, I mean, when you go to Viking games, it'd be all kind of jerseys. It don't, long as you got Vikings. You hit the head on the head with that blue Timberwolves fitted. I've been looking for that shade of blue. Oh yeah, this one. I almost wore mine today, but I didn't wear mine because I looked at the color and the color was purple. So yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna go to the crystal store. I'm gonna send y'all some. And yeah, I can send Valerie a piece too. I think 3 pieces. Let me make sure. Maybe 2, but I can send a piece of this sage out too. So yeah, because I can get more of that anytime. Hey, Vodka, what's happening? But yeah, I'm gonna get that out to you. And keep looking at more stuff. Twin stuff is starting to come out. So I like the twin stuff too. I guess growing up, I was always a Yankees fan since Mickey Mantle, like 68, 69. I was second grade, so maybe yeah, 68, 69. I really started getting into pro baseball. Loved Mickey Mantle, so I was a Yankees fan. I was happy when Derek Jeter went to the Yankees because he played his semi-pro, or he played his farm league in Greensboro for the Hornets. So would go back and go watch him play until the new stadium was built. We played in what was called War Memorial Stadium, which was the home of the Hornets. That's where I played my first 2 years of college football till the new stadium was built. Hey, what's up, D? How you doing? And so, yeah, the first game was, I don't know. You saw a little bit. Well, this is what I noticed, and I made a comment about with Ja. To make Ja slow down, you just give him contact. Contact is the thing that slows him down. That's why it made no sense. Like even hard fouling when they beat the Timberwolves, even hard fouling. So what? He beat you at the free throw line. Hard fouling. He didn't like that game. Was it game 4 of the Timberwolves? Game 5 of the Timberwolves. They didn't knock him down at all. Now the next game they knocked him down a few times, but he just doesn't do well on contact. And one of those last shots he took, remember they blocked his shot. Steph blocked his shot. Remember that? In the fourth quarter, when the last possession, Steph blocked his shot. So contact, he doesn't do well on the double teams even. Like some dudes, it don't matter. Like Gervin would go to the hole, and it didn't matter 2 or 3. Man, Gervin was 6'8", almost 6'9", so a little bigger dude, but still. And a lot of guys don't try to shoot it high, but they caught him good, so. But that seems like, and again, it's scripted. It is. So it's not a matter of, it's just us learning. Okay. It's just a matter of us. No, that ain't going to work. It's blowing my eardrum out. That's better. Okay. That's better. It's just a matter of us pay attention. And those of you that do gamble, I mean, that's another way to look at it, is try to figure out the ebb and flow of the script. And that is why I like that they put the online betting, because that is tempting you to outfigure what the egghead dude in the room. Because this ain't just totally done by a computer, that the computer just throws these simulation games. There is some kind of dude that, what was the movie? Gangsters, I think it was called, where they had all the young dudes playing Bugsy Siegel and all them dudes, the dude who invented the numbers in New York, the way he was saying about the horse races. I mean, this dude knew all the 3-digit combinations in the world, but I don't know if any of y'all old enough, but some cities in the country played the stock market. Some cities played, like, say, Saratoga's racetrack. And then when the season would change, the 3-digit would switch to one of the, was it Florida or California racetracks? But that's how 3 digits was played at one time. You would play like the stock exchange, the last 3 digits. People used to play that. And the other one would be how certain racetracks. That's how they put 3 digits. But my point was, this dude, they showed a character was able to put all those numbers together like that. There's somebody like the creator of the Matrix that is able to look at all these games and they put it out there to, to entice the gamblers. And now that gambling is basically legal and the leagues and the players are part of it, the script is so free flowing. And remember, everybody got earbuds, catch it, drop it, knock him out, block your own man. I mean, all these things come up. Hey, Pale Horse, well, how you doing? What's good? I just had to say this before taking this power nap before work. Is nobody talking about how Clay Lafayette pushes John aside? He goes flying and misses bad. I got no dog in the fight. If that was Kyle Lowry, he would have went flying. That's a good point. That's a good point. The rabbit gets deep how they control this reality. Yeah. And that's the thing is the thing. I have to catch myself. That's another one of the spell words. But that's the interesting part about the rabbit hole. I mean, we've already figured out and proven that they use the magnets. Now, as I've said before, I don't like doing so many per game because people, that helps the system. If every time they shoot a shot, like 30, 40 shots, and I'm making videos of 30, 40 shots, they would like that. The system would like that because the system would say, well, see, you can't say every shot is like that because no. And then that would say that guys never make shots. I'll never say that. I'll never say about skill. I mean, it's some remarkable things that these guys do at times. But again, it's like the wrestling, it's all part of the flowing of the script. And basketball is such a fast changing script, probably the fastest changing of any sport other than hockey, because it changes so quick. So you have to look at the way the betting pattern would be on that live betting on such a thing that moves so quickly. So part of it has to be point shaving. Point shaving has to be. That's been the oldest, the 50s, when the biggest college scandal came out. Again, in the 50s, the college was just as popular as the NBA in the 50s, more popular in the 40s. So that was really where the scandalous money was from in the late to mid 50s. And, as I talked many times before, Connie Hawkins or Roger Brown, the man of 1,000 moves, this was what they used to ban them. That scandal that they really had nothing to do with. They was about to go to the Knicks, and the Celtics would have been in trouble. That's another reason they banned Connie Hawkins. But that has been the easiest way to and blue chips talk about that. A turnover here, you miss on purpose. And Chris, Abdul Rahim, I think is his name, where his video shows, and Zach Hubbard caught that, where it says, this is how you miss. He did not think that one out. He was putting trade secrets out there. This is how you miss. And Klay Thompson, what he did today was a perfect example. And so, but we saw a lot of charges that was, I don't know, a lot of charges that was iffy, a lot of iffy fouls as normal, because the referees are the fail-safe. They're the fail-safe. Hummer said, right, KD made a comment about people betting on him. They are definitely involved. Yeah. I mean, ain't nothing stopping your family from betting. Like, I'm reading that book, Interference, and Roselle and them was like, what their point was, and it goes back to the Black Sox scandal. They don't want the players to control it. They want the owners to control the fix. So this is, what you have to consider. So, but there's nothing wrong with your family betting. Your family can bet. You can pay somebody in your family to bet. They just ain't got to tell nobody. That ain't illegal. And as I said before many times, wrestling is scripted, and people know it's scripted, but people still, you can bet on wrestling. You can bet in match wrestling. So, but it just, I think the point is we point out, try to point out that the best, just little, like, this is it. Like, we're going to show, if you're going to keep showing it, that's what I was saying before. If you show it, I show it. And they like to brag. And what we do is say, okay, while you bragging, we're going to give another opinion about your bragging. And more people are seeing it. And the goal is to make them come out and say, hey, this is entertainment. Once they do that, it really takes away what I do. But will they do it, and how long will it take for them to do it? Because I've been making these videos really 16, 17, 16. Well, my other channel was up since 14. And so the sports videos for sure by 17 before they took my other channel out. So I had from 17 to 21 or 20. Yeah, they cut it. Yeah, 3 months going into 21, they cut it. So 17, those 3 years, I've been talking about this thing. and pointing out what hopefully for people is more and more obvious, more and more obvious. Yep. More and more obvious to point out. And that USFL stuff last night was like a movie stuff. That was really like a movie. Nothing. That video I did, I caught that play because I thought it was odd when I saw it in the first half, but I was doing something else. I wasn't paying attention. And as I said, they like to brag. So they showed it again. And I'm looking like, you got to be kidding me. Facts. It'd be obvious. Yeah, it'd be obvious. Definitely obvious. And that's how that play was. I watched that play again. I'm like, you are kidding me. You really showed this more than once. It was embarrassing how it, and if you look at the end, number 99, one of his men has the arm on the ball carrier, 99 pulls him off. And then the second dude that goes to tackle him just puts his head down and sticks his arms out. Where are you taught that? The only reason you would make that effort if you knew you couldn't get cut. Do you know if you in a real game and you go to make a tackle like that, who are you going to play for? Who are you going to play for? Because they're not going to accept that. I mean, there's a point where talent does come up. And if you don't, in a given time, when you're not told not to make that, do you see? There comes times where you got to play real football. There are times. And if you can't make that real football play, you don't think he's been in that position at different times of his life? And especially like Forerunner was saying, when you're a freshman and you're trying to get a spot and you in them scrimmages ain't fixed. When you go into camp and you got to do scrimmages to show your ability, that ain't fixed. That's real football. The fixed shit is Saturdays in college. But when you on that practice field, you got to show. So you think he gonna go at a tackle during a scrimmage and put his head down and just stick his arms out? How long he gonna play? You can't do that in scrimmages. You got to really practice and practice. You got to tackle. So if you can't show them skills, the fix come later. But if you can't at least show them skills that if we do need you to tackle, you can tackle. Now, we'll tell you when not to tackle. And as I said, everyone doesn't have to be involved. You don't have to have like in football, you don't have to have the core 22 to always know. In basketball, the dudes who ain't playing a lot, another example, you can go back and look this up. There was a dude who played in the CBA his whole career. And this was 2 or 3 years ago. I talked about this the other day. His whole career, he played in the CBA, 10 years at that point. This was probably 18 or 19. He had played his whole career in the CBA. Magic signed him. This is how long ago it was. Magic was the general manager or the president, whichever position he held at that time. Magic signed him. It was the last game of the year. And all of a sudden, they running sets for this dude. They're running sets for this dude. And this dude scored 20-some points in his only NBA game. Now, where is that in reality? In reality, he wouldn't even played. So, reminds me of that playoff game with Minnesota and New Orleans where dude purposely missed that tackle. Oh, yeah, the Minnesota Miracle. Not did he just not miss, his man took him out to stop him from making that tackle. And I did a beautiful video on that shoot. I think them videos like 50, 60,000 views, my Minnesota Miracle views, that I had some great views on that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's it. I know a former manager for Arkansas that said they only practice scoring plays during the season. Only practice scoring plays during the season. Wow. Only practice scoring plays during the season. There you go. Hey, Dr. Sinister, how you doing? So, film to football, film is like you're God or devil. There's no lying about the film. And so as they evaluate you, you got to at one point show some skill. But see, that's where really analytics, they say that analytics helps them to enhance the game, but in reality, it helped them fix them more. You could put analytics is nothing more than put weak on strong, fast on slow. what is the odds, or how is he hitting this type of pitcher? What is his odd of hitting in this situation during the game? I mean, they put more of the fix in the game, I think, through analytics. Because their receivers, they're slow receivers. They put on a fast DB. Like, as good as Deion Sanders was, you thought he could guard everybody, where they wouldn't even throw to that side of the field. Remember, that's what they used to preach when Deion played? Well, Deion's a lockdown corner, and they're not even going to throw at him. Didn't Jerry Rice and Rison? I'm trying to think. There's a bunch of dudes beat Deion. And I ain't talking about old Deion. But that's where analytics comes in. It helps them determine how to put the chess pieces. Because that's where football, they up in the booth. Hey, CWE, how you doing, man? Thank you for joining. So, you got the people in the sky in the booth up there. And I'll say at one point, I used to admire coaches that didn't, because some coaches I got to observe didn't want them headphones. They made their assistants wear the phones. And the coach was on. I mean, I knew coaches that really had a good feeling of calling plays. Now, my college coach wasn't that kind of guy. He was very nervous kind of dude, chain smoking over there as he's talking. But I was around other dudes that was thinkers and could be on the field and just could sense it better than sitting up in the booth. Now, the booth is more of a bigger chess match. You see it like a big chessboard on how to move everybody. But that helps with analytics again. There's dudes there's guys that they know that will blow it. So, Seahawks draft went well, in my opinion. I was reading, how everybody's drafts went. Yeah, we had one team draft 14 people. One team, what was it? What team drafted 14 people? It was a record. Baltimore? Maybe the Ravens drafted 14 people? That's 14 positions. Maybe it was somebody else. Maybe I'm wrong. And I worried you missed it. I had the Seahawks jersey on yesterday. They was getting rid of them Russell Wilsons. And Russell Wilson's be 150, and they was getting rid of them for 20. I might go out there tomorrow and go get my hat. See where my hat is done. But this is how, to approach this. This is how to approach this. Why is this here? Yeah, it's not supposed to be here. See, I had to put a vortex up because, it's a lot of energy out there. I try to keep away. That's why I play these different tunes. It helps wake everything up around me. It helps wake all my protections up, so they like guard dogs, spiritually. Second most in college history. Yeah, see, second most. So bringing in 14 people. So you telling me now it's went up from 53 to I think 58, right? 53 to 58. Because you keep practice squad is 11 plus about, I think it's 58 now that they keep because of the extra game. That's the biggest thing holding up. Texas selected the most 17 in 1984. Okay. That might have been their first year too, 84. But that's a lot of jobs up for grabs. And draft picks get bonuses. You go in there and sign. You, like I said before, that they got drafted. They was in them cities. They was in them cities yesterday or the day before. Well, yeah, day before. Friday. Draft was Thursday. Friday, I'm sure you saw in your local sports or your local your local sports or even parts of Sports Center, because Sports Center kind of has it locally somewhat too, where you seeing these dudes in the cities. You seeing these dudes in the cities, and they getting that bonus. You sign, you get paid. Football gives the bonuses. At one point, they gave them the nicest bonuses. So, and as the brothers were saying too, taxes be a mug. You're supposed to get one thing and then don't owe nothing like child support. Oh my goodness, they gonna put their foot in that check. I remember seeing a dude, he played for the Pittsburgh Maulers, and I ain't gonna try to name drop, but we was up at his apartment, and on his table he had a stack of like 5 or 6 weeks of checks. He was hurt. I'm not gonna say his name, but he did win a Heisman Trophy. I'll say that. But he had got hurt, so he wasn't even playing. I mean, he was going to the games and shit, but he had a stack on his table of checks, and the checks was from the weekly. His weekly checks back in like 83, 84 was like he had 5 or 6 checks like 100 grand. Like all these checks was none of them was less than 100 grand. And I think we was 20, 21, 22 maybe, because he's the same age as me. He had a really big head too. I don't know how I get all these friends with really large heads. He had a big head too. But he was a running back, and he played for the Pittsburgh Maulers. I don't think they brought that back in the USFL. But I just remember, it's like, dang, dude, why you got to cash these checks? He's just laughing. He's like, that bonus I got, I ain't even got to cash these checks. And so that just shows you the mentality. Drafts are scripted. They tell which teams who to pick. Oh, absolutely. 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 That's part of the, yep. NBA playoffs is boring. But yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, drafts are scripted. Drafts are scripted. I mean, do you think it's an accident when they put these new quarterbacks in there, or these good quarterbacks, and they got hurt? Joe Burrows, when he gets hurt his freshman year, watch that play. I made a video on it. I don't know if it might have been on my other channel, might be earlier this channel. I don't even know if I made a video on it, but he was hurt on purpose. His own lineman throws a guy in his knee. They wanted him to get hurt for some reason. It took a little. I mean, he's not as elusive as a runner as he was. Remember, look at that big knee brace he wore. Remember, he kind of sprained it in the Super Bowl, but he wears one of them, so he wasn't probably 100%. So they hurt people on purpose too. And that changes players. So yeah, they've done so many players dirty. They've done so many plays dirty. RG3 was another one they did dirty. Stupid, listening to them. And he never recovered from his injuries. I'll say Grant Hill was put in the same predicament. Oh, you soft. You can't take any injuries. And that's what they made Grant Hill play in them playoffs. And then playoffs cost him 3-4 years, almost cost him his life. Because one of his surgeries, he ended up getting MRSA. Grant Hill almost died from MRSA. So here was a dude that was a taller Michael Jordan, taller Kobe. Grant Hill was a taller Michael Jordan and a taller Kobe. Grant Hill 6'8". And you don't think he was a storm when he came into the league? What could be the benefit of hurting your own players? They take ability away. They put them out for them certain weeks. And Gale Sayers is a prime example of that. I don't know if he would not, as I said, they screwed Gale Sayers around because Gale Sayers could have had 7 touchdowns in one game, and they didn't put him in because they had the ball under 1 or 2. And they let another dude score a touchdown where Gale Sayers could have broken the record. I think he didn't go along with the fix. Probably was too naive in a lot of ways, so they hurt you. Really, them banning Ali from fighting for 3 years was kind of the same thing. Ali was so far ahead. And Ali's fights with Sonny Liston was all fixed. However, Ali had skills that there was no one at the time that it was believable. Like Ali was so much better than everybody. It was getting harder and harder to fix his fights. I mean, when he knocked Zora Foley out, he hits him with 2 right hands, quick right hands. I mean, he's just boom, boom, hits him with 2 quick right hands. His skill level was so much higher that the only way they could really fix it for Ali's fights was making quit fighting for 3 years. And it ended up injuring him. I mean, again, having to shoot his hands up, taking all the hits to the head. But players are replaceable. What do they tell you? Next man up. Next man up. So that's the point. They don't care if one gets hurt, if they lose these certain skills. They can get somebody near. Someone with skills almost like that, given the position. So, So Vaca, that's the point. Baker Mayfield going outside. He, to me, wasn't good as Johnny Manziel. I mean, he had zero escapability. At least Johnny Manziel did, but that's another example of not really putting the people around him that would have made Johnny Manziel successful. Because Johnny Manziel had a lot of what's his name? Joe Montana, about the same size dude, better skill set, I thought, than Joe Montana. But yet they didn't put the team around him. They didn't put him. He should have been constantly rolling, constantly moving pocket for him, being his size. But this is how they sabotage dudes. They sabotage them too. But yeah, Baker Mayfield, again, I thought Johnny Manziel was better than Baker Mayfield. Hey, Lorenzo, how you doing? A guy named Hanson Emmanuel from Florida. He got his arm cut off. He played in the... Oh, shoot. No, I did not hear about that. Y'all see that? Same Hanson Emmanuel from Florida. He got his arm chopped off. He played in the Alvin Iverson event the other day. No. My goodness. I did not hear about that. Wow. John Elway refused... Exactly. John Elway refused to play for the Colts on draft day. Played for the Broncos. Peyton Manning played for the Colts and John's Broncos. Broncos log was a horse and Colts have a horse. The Manning, the other Manning, he refused to play for San Diego. He refused to play for San Diego. That's how they got Rivers. It was a draft day trade because he told him, don't draft me. Bo Jackson. Bo Jackson was drafted by Tampa Bay. And Bo Jackson was like, fuck that. I'm going to go play baseball. And then the next year, the Raiders got his rights. But Bo Jackson said, fuck you, I'm not playing with them. So it's been players that say, you know, I'm not going to them. Ernie Davis, the first brother to win Heisman Trophy. He said he wasn't going to racist ass Washington. And so they traded Bobby Mitchell. And then I think, you know, he was one of the first Heisman sacrifices. I'm sure they gave him something. They said it was leukemia, but I'm sure they gave it to him. But yep. Baker, they the same person. Browns are idiots for drafting the same person. That's so funny. That is funny. Hey, Peanut Butter. Baker was better college quarterback than who? Johnny Manziel? Baker was better college quarterback than Johnny Manziel? Did Baker ever beat Alabama? Johnny Manziel had Alabama, and again, we know about, but he had a skill set that Saban would, because, you know, Saban's defensive coach. And Johnny Manziel, again, rolling him out, being able to be active. Shit, he beat Alabama in Alabama. People compare Baker to Drew Brees. And that's one dude I hated, had to look up in the air like this. I like Brees at Purdue. I can't say I didn't. I enjoyed his playing, but I would say that's a good comparison. Baker doesn't have the strongest arm as Drew Brees did. Yep. He will go out like Chris Winky. That's funny, Chris Winky. Except Chris was like 27 when he won the Heisman and played baseball. Yeah, he was older. He was an older dude. Yep. Sports Center had a special on him. Okay, I missed it. I was watching Attack on Titans. I was watching that. Seattle doing it right. Build a defense and offensive line before drafting a quarterback. Why beat a dude up? You know, why beat a dude up? That's what Russell Wilson was mad about. Why was it scripted for him to take a beating? But again, he went to 2 straight Super Bowls, and that's how they do it. It's always about the new money coming in. It's always about the new, you know, build these newer dudes up. That's why there's something there that the NFL needs Brady's ratings. I don't know what it is. There's something there that they're lacking to still need Brady. That's the only thing I can think of. There's something there. I don't know if Tampa Bay needs the ticket sales. I don't know. But for some reason, the NFL still needs him because it appeared like the organization tried to push him out by releasing that. Because remember, he first said, no, I'm not. I don't know if y'all remember that. When they first released it, Scheffner, whatever, when Brady said, no, I'm not. He says, news to me. And then they kind of forced him to. So there's something there. It ain't just him wanting to come back. Oh, yes, he's a megalomaniac. He has to have that publicity. So that's part of it, too. That was in 03. 2003 was stacked. Okay. Like the 83 one with Elway, Marino. It was a 83, Jim Kelly. None but quarterbacks came out. What they say? Six number one picks of quarterbacks. 84. Elway, Rivers, Rothenberg. Yeah. Insane Baker was a better college quarterback than pro quarterback. Oh, good point. Yeah, I would agree with that. He was a great college quarterback. His career is a wrap. Back up at best now. Never know where they're going to put him. Any chance Seahawks get Bryce Young next draft? I don't know, CWE. I don't know. I can't really answer that one. Maybe. Possibly, depending on if they got the trades. Eli Manning refused to play for the Chargers. He wanted to go to the Giants because New York is a big market. And, of course, Daddy Archie has something to do with it. I look at Daddy Archie, too, he was definitely the lovable loser. I don't even know if he ever played the playoff game. He played for a bad New Orleans team. You know, what? They was only, New Orleans' first season, I think, was 66. My book is right here. See what their first year was. And Archie was only a few years, like 4 or 5 years into the new franchise. See, what year did the Saints start? Right here. Falcons. Yeah, Saints started in 66. So you talking about an organization, 70? Archie Manning was a 70, wasn't he? I used to have the Street and Smith. Because Street and Smith, they would wear the plastic helmets with no face mask, and I think I had the Archie Manning one. Alabama always had problems with mobile quarterbacks. It's a good point. Because Johnny Manziel, and he was a sophomore when he lit their ass up. Because they beat him, I think, the year he won the Heisman. But the year he won, I think when he was a sophomore, he beat him in Alabama. Brady couldn't play forever. NFL must have promised Brady one more Super Bowl to come back. Could be. But it seemed like that would have been last year. Raiders acting like they want Cap. Why didn't they bring him in when he was at his, better? And I did a great breakdown of his skill set. He has poor reads. He reads late. And he just doesn't get the ball out quick enough. And once again, you can't rely on that read option your whole life. You want to take less hits. And, okay, Cam is a perfect example of a person they injured that really, really ruined his career. J.J. Watt's brother, that video did about 50,000 views of that hit that purposely destroyed Cam's shoulder. Purposely destroyed his shoulder. And J.J. Watt's brother, the Watts play for Pittsburgh, was with it. They told him to go in there and hurt him. It's dudes that'll hurt you. I mean, that's the meanness of the game. It's dudes that they tell them to hurt people, and they'll go out and hurt people. As they destroyed Dick Butkus. Again, it was legal for me to block you, and you come out of nowhere and clip my leg and tear my knee up. That was legal forever. So if you don't think they won't hurt people on purpose, that should have been illegal back in 1960. They didn't take that out of football, I want to say, until the 90s. That killed Dick Butkus' game. Because they tore, like they get Gale Sayers. Shit, Gale Sayers had his knee tore up, one of the worst knee injuries ever, came back the next year and led the league in rushing. I want to say it might have been the worst rushing champion ever. Because I don't even think he got 1,000 yards. Let's see here. Rushing. Nope, I was wrong. Gale Sayers had 236 attempts. He led the league in rushing with 1,032 yards and had 8 touchdowns. Now his rookie year was amazing. He had 1,200 yards out of 239. This can't be right. Yeah, I guess it. They said he had 8. No, this ain't his rookie year. Rookie year was the year before. But he had 8 touchdowns. But he led the league in rushing twice, which I didn't realize that. So, and this is 74 edition, so the records only go to 74. Well, losing so much is what got Archie Manning, losing. He took all that losing so his sons could win. If you really look at it, I think the NFL looked at this year like we don't need a bunch of quarterbacks drafted. Yeah. And a lot of them got drafted 6th, 7th round. Why? All those quarterbacks that got drafted this year belong to USFL. And see, that's my thing with Cap. Cap, who was a dude, I can't think of his name, but when the XFL played, remember when McMahon had the XFL the first time, it was a quarterback that played that won the championship. And then that dude later went and played for the Pittsburgh. And I can't think of that quarterback's name, but he got the reps. He was playing. And that's what I didn't understand about Kaepernick going out there. Now, would they send somebody to hurt him? Somebody trying to make a name for themselves? That very well could be. I can't count that out because that could be. That could be. But he needed to be somewhere where he was playing. Flag or something. Something. Think NFL will give Browns a Super Bowl to make people forget about the Watson case? Give the Browns? I don't think so. I don't think so. They ain't never won it. And they tend not to let teams that haven't won it. They're gonna keep them teams locked out. So I doubt it. I doubt that. You see how the only way the Browns could win is they had to go to Baltimore. Stroud can run circles around all of them. He has a year to go before the draft. Okay. Whoever drafts Bryce Young needs to have a solid line in place before they get him. That's a good point. They really do, to protect him. Yeah. Sheesh. Bill Romanowski definitely hurt some people on purpose. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Shit, he spit in the motherfucker face, too. You think the league has it in for Cam? Yeah, they definitely did. They hurt him on purpose. I don't care what nobody said. My video proved it. It was no reason to take that shot right at his shoulder. Look, this is a union. You are all in the same union. You are all basically brothers for life in some kind of ways. And you know what kind of hits hurt people and what don't, especially the quarterbacks. How often you see quarterbacks really get hurt, really, really hurt? Every few years. So, yeah, they went after him. AD came back strong after an injury, right? He did. He went over to Germany and had his surgery. But he was another one that had a monster year. And I'll say this, just like Embiid, when AD got hurt, he shouldn't have been in the game either. And they was talking about the person that hurt him. Because you see, his foot is locked in the ground, and it seemed like it was a soft field that day, and then just knee destroyed. But he was the one that came back the best ever, really. But he got his surgery over in Germany, and they used some type of different procedure, or he brought a surgeon over here. I can't quite remember. You can probably look up the tweet. It was one or the other, but he had a little better care, and he came back quicker. But that's the beautifulness of it. It's the surgeries to keep the robots going is a lot better. I mean, the surgery that Gale Sayers had compared to what Adrian Peterson had, you're talking about 50 years of technology. But yep, he did. And as I said about AD, making him sit out that year was like the worst thing they could have ever done to that man. Running backs, they ain't got many years. The average is 2 years. I think for a football player, it's 2.5, but for a running back, I think it's only 2 years. Seattle had two first rounders and 2 second-round picks next draft. They good. Sounds like it. Yeah, I know you meant Adrian Peterson. Yeah, I know. Yep. But that's when, Adrian Peterson, though, that year they took off, and that scam of saying what he did to his son. Come on. That was all media bullshit. And whatever he got paid to play along with it. But career-wise, he just, was trying to get on teams this past season. And it's sad. Your Twins doing good. They're 13-9? Aren't they 13-9? Everybody else must be doing bad. If the Twins is doing good, they won. Was it today or yesterday? They beat Toronto. Yeah, back Braxton. Like, they had to hurt Braxton last year. Dude threw at him, broke his wrist. Yankees on a 9-game winning streak. I think I caught that too. Doc Rivers was afraid of blowing a 3-0 lead, so he kept Embiid in the game. I don't know. I think they wanted something to look fishy because there's no reason for him to be in there. There was no reason. Look very fishy, right? Because Zeke is starting to decline. Yeah. I mean, you see it. And Zeke never been a dude with a strong arm. And that's what hurts the type of player that he is. He's never had a strong arm. And so when you just got to, that's my problem with Manning in Denver. He was just dinking. When it came to deep passes, you can't say that he was zipping them. And he never was had zip on the ball. He was always a precision kind of guy. So Twins are in the first. Okay, but aren't they 13-9? They're at first at 13-9. Okay, the league must be sorry because it seemed like that's what I saw today, 13-9. Carrero changed that team so far. Yeah, he's been playing well. He has been playing, but so is Braxton. Braxton is the man. They gave him the bag, and he plays well. Shoot, that's what I might do this week if they're home because I know they was in Tampa Bay. If they played today or they played yesterday, they was in Tampa Bay. So, or was it Toronto? It was either Tampa Bay or Toronto. I want to say Tampa Bay, though. That's what I saw. So, but yeah, that was a good pickup by them. I admit that. That was a good pickup. Oh, but Rosario, has been struggling. He had been struggling. And so they sent him. He might have to get glasses or contacts because they're saying he having problems picking up the ball. Probably the weakest division. Okay. Looks bad, too. Okay. That's what I was thinking. I saw their record, 13-9. I'm like, wow. I mean, they are above 500, but 13-9? That's not great. But, yeah, it's like, the White Sox, Tigers? Yeah, it's not the strongest. And today, it rained all morning. But it's we about to get 60s, but still mild compared to last year. Last year, we was in the 70s all April. Not this year. Because I remember when I bought my phone is about a year. Shit. And it was like 70. I remember 70, 75 because I had to drive a minute because, we was in the middle of all this crap. So they had to run the phone out to me. So it's like with boxing. You're going to get hit. So even though it's fixed for you, like it was a boxing movie where they had a dude and it was fixed for him, but the other guy just punched him and the dude knocked him out and they was mad at him. And they found out as their champ couldn't take a punch, what they called have a glass jaw. So that happened. It messes up a lot of money. But it's like you got to be able to take getting hit. Like you watch that Ali Frazier 1 fight, they both could take getting hit. And we know that it wasn't. Well, Joe Frazier's face was beat to pretty much what they call a bloody pulp, but Ali's jaw was like this. Like this. And you ain't faking that. I mean, it's cringeworthy to see Joe Frazier took all that damage. Let's see. Yankees 16-6 and Red Sox 19-14. That makes me happy. Where's SD? SD. Yeah, SD. Where he at? He's the Red Sox guy. NBA 75th year, right? 49ers won the Super Bowl in the NFL, 75th season. That's a good catch. Golden State relocate to San Francisco. The Warriors could win the NBA. That's a good point. Yep. Shakur dog walked Valdez. Oh, yeah, he did. He did. He did. He did. That was a good fight. The Davis fight was good too. I wanted to do a little short because Davis, he just that look he did when he was like getting the dude with like about 20 hooks he hit him with. I mean, just the look on his face I was trying to catch, but I couldn't get the right look. But he was like, you about to get some more of this shit. How'd you like that when you was about to you not gonna like these? Oh, that was a good fight last night. It was definitely. He said he won them all. Hey, Wid, he disappeared. Oh, he disappeared. Maybe his schedule, maybe his schedule. But he loves the White Sox. So that I might end up going to a game. See if my friend want to go to a game this week. Yeah, but get to work, go start working tomorrow. I ain't worked in 8 years, ain't been able to work, so I feel good. I look forward to it, to have to work for the man again. I don't mind. I really don't mind. Kind of gives me a little more something to do. I look forward to it. And I can still do my volunteering, so I'll still be able to help people out and do that. But it's just feeling better, feeling better. And I'll hustle and do a lot of things, but to have somewhere I can go to every day is not really bad for me at this point in my life. It's really not. That I am healthy enough, I think is a big, and the doctors think I'm healthy enough and I feel good. So I think that's a great thing for me personally. I got a clip of Anthony Rizzo throwing up devil horns with his hands in his first ever 3-run home run games. Yeah, they'll show it. They'll show it. They'll show it. They'll show it. Then he proposed to his girlfriend. Yeah, I saw that too during the interviews. Yep, I saw that too. They had it all. They had the ring up there, and that's noble. That's a noble thing. I that ain't pushed anymore. And it's I didn't mind being married. It's just like I married the wrong one the last time. And didn't really marry for the right reasons. Didn't really marry her for the right. But my first wife, I married her twice, and it's just I didn't take any pills, any do right pills. I still had that pimp mentality, so I didn't take any do right pills, and I just couldn't do right with her. So and she would have put up with the world. She really did. She would have put up with anything. When she met her husband, and we was living together, it was like I was living there temporarily. And she was like, I met somebody, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't care. Like, whatever. I don't care. I'm just here for a minute. Yeah, thank you, Lorenzo. I appreciate that. I like White Sox gear. Oh, yeah. Oh, the White Sox gear is really nice. It is. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, I like the White Sox gear too. Alan, I thought you was a Nationals fan. You do it first. I'm doing I'm only gonna work 4 hours a day. So I'm only working like 4 to 9. So I'm only doing 4 hours a day. I can't work too much. So they're gonna want to see how I do tomorrow. All the specialists and shit, they want to see how I do. And I think I can do it. I think so. We're in a warehouse, kind of like what I done on forklifts. My problem in the forklift, I have depth perception. I've always had it. I have bad depth perception. I mean, forklift is a little different because I can get it, but I've had like these massive chemicals up in the air where my forklift did like this before because just the way it was, and that was the only way I could get it out of there. But I put 1,000 pounds way up there, and it had my shit like this, and all those chemicals, if they fell down, might have blew some shit up. I am surprised that show that melanated man proposing to a melanated woman. That's a good point. Cause shoot. Hey Barbara, how you doing? How you doing, Barbara? Well, thank you. And Barbara, you're another one. Do you like sports gear? Or what do you like? What kind of gear do you like? What kind of things do you like? Because I sent you some crystals already, so I can send you if you like some type of gear. Let me know what kind of stuff you like. And sizes. I need sizes too. So I can start looking for stuff. Because this is the clothes capital. I don't care what anybody say. This is the clothes capital. No tax on clothes. shoot. I looked at some and I don't really care for button-up shirts, but I looked at that Polo Purple exclusive line, that Polo Purple brand. Look that stuff up. Where they ain't got the dude, they got a dude just riding on a horse. He's sitting up on a horse. That Polo Purple stuff, look that stuff up. Because I asked her, I was like, what is this? And she's like, oh, okay, this is Polo Purple brand. I'm like, oh. But it's like, that's why. See, Reds and Guardians fan. Yeah, the Guardians colors, they ain't that sweet. Purple Label. Yeah, that's it. Purple Label. It had the man sitting on the regular horse. I just don't wear that kind of stuff. Of what I saw they had. But yep, the Purple Label. Thank you, Vodka. Yep. I lived in DMV, so my way of showing love to the area, some of their gear. There you go. Purple Label is nice and it's pricey. Oh yeah. It was, I was wondering, that's what made me, well, just I was like, what is this? This is different. I mean, it was, again, I'm at the outlet, so it wasn't a lot of that stuff at the outlet. So that's why I was surprised to see that shirt. I was like, oh, because I got a partner that's at the mall. Well, been cool with him. And he was kind of showing me the different type of clothes and stuff and the difference between designer compared to name brand. Because you can bring in designer stuff that's this one cat that like one store may only have his stuff. And so he had that kind of stuff. He did carry some name brands, but he had a lot of designer exclusive stuff. So if people are into like stuff that nobody else has, you can get designer stuff like that. So I know a guy that mows yards on the side and works the same job as me. He gets he's the same age as you are. Okay, bet. Okay, bet. I mean, I really have been wanting to even maybe ref again, especially football. Football is kind of easier than basketball. And then I could play the white hat and I wouldn't have to really run. So I've been trying to convince my son, but my son works a lot of weekends, but trying to get some guys to get another crew. Because really, if I would have stayed in Michigan, I would have definitely been a replacement ref because before I left, I was offered I was offered to lead a small time crew that was going to do minor league colleges, the smaller colleges like the private college, like Adrian, Hillsdale, Kalamazoo College. We was going to have that conference, and those were the conferences they pulled from. From those smaller they wanted more competent ref, but college level refs. But that's who they pulled from because again, a college ref can make sometimes as much as the NFL ref. Except now the NFL jobs are year round, college isn't. But instead I end up moving here and kind of start all over again. Let's see. I know I have World Series championship hats. Nice. I wonder if you got the coat. I know they got the coats that got all that. What you know about the Physicians and the purple color? Yeah, a little bit about that. Yeah, a little bit about that. Yeah, the dyes that made the purples. You didn't know that Adrian lost one of his children? Yeah, that was straight up sacrifice. Because, yeah, that's a tough story to even talk about. But it happens like this. So she's taking Adrian to court. Year 2. I think the boy was 2 years old. So it took him a couple of years. She finally got the bag. Well, understand how psychology goes. She was probably living with a dude that was the main money earner. And once she won her paternity case, she was going to get big bread. I imagine she was about to leave dude. And so dude killed the child is the story. It looked like she was like, fuck you. I got the bag. I don't need you. And he's like, well, I'm going to take away the thing that's giving you the bag. That's the story. But it was obvious a sacrifice. He got a bunch of children, I think. I have a gang of new heirs, too. I don't have any more Yankee hats. Yeah, I don't have any Yankee hats. Do you think NCAA allowed Kirby Smart to have a dynasty with Georgia Bulldogs like Saban? Well, they're going to keep that in the SEC, ACC. You see, they kind of want to lock those conferences up, looked as their super conferences. So a little bit, they'll build him up. Saban ain't young. He got to be in his 70s. So they got to have somebody that they're going to pass it to. But they want to keep that talent there. As I was saying, like listening to Sly and the fellas, Form Runner and the other guys, that's free agency in college. That's the best. That was the only way college could really compete. Now, football, but they had to make the rule for everybody. It really helped basketball because it's, as I said with Larry Bird, this is how you got to look at what they did with transferring. Before, when you transferred, they penalized you for a year. They penalized you for a year. And Larry Bird is the perfect example of that, how that penalty hurt him in the long run because he went into the NBA kind of older. Not a great athlete. Dennis Rodman did too, but Dennis Rodman, again, better athlete than Larry Bird. But so now, if you fit in a better scheme, it is cool to leave. If you get another opportunity or you don't like somebody and they ain't scouting you for nothing, that's one part they missed of their conversation. These other schools ain't asking you to come to them without the intention of you playing. Now, they knew, I don't know why they didn't bring that up, but they know. They're not whispering in your ear, or even when you pull out them fillers, their ideas already, there's a board already they put out come the next next year. You know, they got the depth chart, they got depth charts, and they're looking at people around the country that can fit what they need. So they know, they ain't telling these people, well, you know, we might try you out. No, these motherfuckers know they're going to go in and start. Like Hurt, when Jalen went to Oklahoma. You think he went there thinking I'm going to compete for the job? No, they knew he could run that offense. So it's the greatest thing they could have ever done for college football, especially. They did the thing to compete in basketball, really, but they had to let, the fuck is choking me? This damn thing. Something. Keep it under. It's choking me tonight. Shit don't want to do right. They're not big on us showing love to each other. Hey, Jeffrey, how you doing? Hey, thank you for joining. Oh, that's so kind of you, Barbara. But Barbara, give me your size too. That's so kind of you. But give me your size, and tell me the kind of stuff you like, so I can send some more stuff out. Now, if you like hats, I can send some hats out too. And I didn't get my custom hat today. I'm gonna try to go out there in the morning, see how I feel. I just watched the movie Moonfall, and I had millions of truths about the moon. The movie there's a movie, and then what is the series? Moon Night Moon? Okay. Because I think I know what you're talking about. I don't think I watched all the Moonfall. The story with Peterson was the stepfather killed the kid, right? Yeah, the boyfriend. I don't even think they was married. It was the boyfriend. The boyfriend killed him. I don't think they was even married. It was the boyfriend. But she had just got that bag, and that's why he killed him. Kirby Smart's 46. They could definitely pass it to him. Yeah, they want to keep the SEC, ACC, and Big 12. That's why they don't let everybody in. I've always thought, let everybody in, especially football. That was a big playoff, but that's why. And even though it's scripted, some of these minor schools might say, no, we're going to play real. And they never want that. They never want a small school to win. Moonfall was a very good movie, even though the viewers said it was garbage. They said so people wouldn't watch it. Okay. Moonfall. Huh. I think I started watching it, and then because what is the little series called? Moonfall. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I started watching that. I'll check. Oh, Halle Berry. Okay, you saying that's deep? I don't know. I was kind of turned off by the moon space shit, but okay, if you say it's a good movie, I had to check it out. The movie with Halle Berry. I asked a question for y'all. Matter of fact, they're going to be like LSU. win the championship, then fall the next year. They lost a lot of guys to the draft. Damn. Hell. It's always one thing or another. KD will have a comeback like John Elway, set him up for failure every year until he magically wins it. I hope so. I hope so. Definitely not Georgia's a better recruiting school than LSU. We'll see if Kelly can turn it around. Kelly was pretty good recruiting, but he wasn't getting the top people to come to Notre Dame. No, my mistake. I mean, the film Moonfall with Halle Berry was very good. Okay, Moon Knight. Okay, yeah. But with Halle Berry, yeah. Okay, if you say it's good, I might have to check it out. Moon Knight. Yeah, I've watched about 4 or 5 of them. And then Winning Time will have a new episode on today, I think. So I might watch that. Yeah. Oh, wow, I went this long. Whew. Wow, thank you guys. This has flown by. I was so nervous, I had nothing to say. I want to say this. So the system really wants to mentally drain you. The system doesn't want you to be spiritual. That's why the system loves religion, because religious people is religious. They ain't spiritual. I don't care what they say. If you believe, spirituality is experienced. You can't base it on believe. You've got to experience. You end up knowing. And like when I talk about this stuff and talk about how you can possess folks and stuff, it is not I believe. And it's like when these sisters came to me, I didn't believe they would come to me. I was quite surprised that the book is loaded. And there's loaded books. That's something you got to be aware of. Books can be loaded. That's why sometimes you can take sage or something to certain books if you you want to release that, so you don't want attachment from the book, because books are just like watching programs. It's attachments any kind of way. Sean, there he is. Sean, I'm glad you joined me. So this is what I picked up for you. I picked this one up for you, Sean, because I wanted to get you something with Minnesota on there. And it's got the Viking there, and then it's got the Vikings in the back. So I hope you don't mind the snapbacks. And then it's even got the pin here. So this is what I got from you. So I'm just going to pick up some more crystals. And I'm going to send you some of this. I'm going to send you a piece of this too. Some of this Palo Alto. And this is really interesting. I mean, you don't really burn it like an incense. It kind of burns slow. So, but it cleanses. Yeah, it cleanses really nice. So I'm going to send you some of that and some crystals too. But yeah, definitely the knowing and experience. I have the same book. Oh, you got this one? You got this one? I think it was a University of Wisconsin class. You got that one? Yeah, Brother Bomber hit me to this one. And this is you got to get through all the blood. But I tell you what, I can't find. I might have to read the whole book again, but I haven't been able to find where she talks about, because all the book talks about basically you got to have a lot of blood to flow, even the marriages and stuff. But but what tells you don't need the blood is she talks about the writer of this book, and I've mentioned this many times, but the writer of this book, Janice Bodine, I think is her name. What is her name? Yeah, Janice Bodine. A lady zared into her, told her, so this is a lady living in Sudan, never been to Canada. She described the movie they went to see, And again, you can possess people in the past. She described the movie they went to see. She described her friends. She described her apartment. So, and it ain't had nothing to do with blood because everything else showed ritual. So it shows that you can do this without all that blood. But it's a great book. Next week is the final episode. Okay, bet, James. So yeah, Sean. So yeah, okay, bet. Yeah. I'm gonna try to go to the crystal shop and see if I can get them off by this weekend. But yeah, I'll send that off to you for sure. Maybe I can grab a T-shirt, a shirt to say Vikings or something if I can find a Vikings T-shirt. Did you like the Eagles did in the draft? Well, they got another center, which Kelsey's getting up there in age, and that'll help. And it seemed like he is a versatile center. They got another receiver, and they already got a good crew, and looks like he's going to be able to play some of that slot for him. So, yeah, they did pretty well. They got the center. I'm trying to think. They got at least one receiver. So, yeah, they did decent. They did decent to help Hurts. Yep, I thought. Eagles smart. Yeah. The Bodie book. Yeah, exactly, Moonrock. Yeah. A lot of people really wouldn't get how to use that stuff because I'd sit there and like when they say you get what you ask for. I mean, there's days I would just sit there and try to really get into the czar, and it was like nothing happened one time. But and then all of a sudden, like I did the video talk about looking through Kennedy's eyes, being in the White House or being in the Senate. I don't know which one. And it was a couple other episodes where I'm like looking through these people's eyes. I'm like, oh, but it's a lot of it's been revealed to me for sure. James says my New York drafted real well. They did. They're giving him help. My Ravens drafted well. Yeah, they drafted really good. The Ravens did. I was just reading that yesterday. I should have took some notes. I didn't take any notes. You guys got AJ Brown. Yeah. Yep. And that is a big. Let me get this water over here. That is a big move for us to get. Going to have two speedy receivers. There we go. Yep, James. Oh, yeah, we got AJ Brown. That is definitely going to help. I saw a video of Jordan throwing the game versus the Magic at 85, similar KD versus the Celtics, KD versus Celtics this year. Yeah. Then that year he played, they forced him to play to save the Washington, the Wizards, to save the Wizards. There's no reason for him to play. But if Jordan didn't play, the Wizards wouldn't exist. Wizards wouldn't exist. And Jordan made him money and made him a profit, and they fired him and didn't let him, buy in because that was the team he was supposed to own. That's a little like George Marshall stuff. Can't have a black owner in D.C. Sounds good. Been keeping up with all y'all ball manipulation bills. It's crazy. Have some plays are obviously scripted. Oh, definitely. But yeah, send that around the world for you. But yeah, I'll try to grab a shirt too. Get a Viking shirt too. So Jordan wore 45. He was throwing the ball away like KD. Oh, that one, especially that last turnover he did. Remember, he did a late turnover. Yeah, he did a late turnover too. But the double nickel game, come on. Dude ain't been hooping in months, and he scored 50-some. And remember how when he scored 55, Bill Weddington, remember he went in the air and he shot it to Bill Weddington, and Bill Weddington scored? Remember that? Like nobody's looking, everybody expect Mike, and then Mike finally passes it. Yeah, he was throwing the ball away. Yeah, okay, yeah, that game. The Eagles need a running game. I'm sure there's somebody they can bring in. Get one of these USFL dudes. Get one of them dudes. Oh man, I on my other channel, I did one where he did the shrug game, and I was showing where you could see these shots when he hit them 7 or whatever he hit in that shrug game. Man, I did a video on my other channel that broke that down because again, they love to brag on their stuff and they showing it. And I'm able to slow this stuff in slow motion, and you can see the ball. The ball is manipulated or taken to the back. look at, as I said many times about Michael Jordan copied Kyle Macy jump shot. And you can go back, look up Kyle Macy, and those of you who follow me know I've said this. When Michael Jordan developed that fallback and kick, that ain't nothing but Kyle Macy shot. Look up Kyle Macy that played in Kentucky. When Quentin Daly, when Michael Jordan first got drafted, it was Kyle Macy and Quentin Daly in the backcourt. And I think they had Jordan playing the 3 at first. But look at Kyle Macy jump shot where the fall away and kick in the foot. Jordan copied that. But again, as I said, if you compared Michael Jordan to Len Bias coming in the league, Len Bias was already a natural shooter. He was a natural mid-range shooter. Again, his size and skill is 6'8". He would have been an excellent three-point shooter. I don't know if the game would have developed. Well, Jordan made those ones, but again, how many? But he would have saved Bird McHale's career. Len Bias would have came into a better situation than Michael Jordan did. It wouldn't have hurt. It wouldn't have hurt that the Celtics was old with Len Bias coming in there. It would have extended Larry Bird, taking a little pressure off him, because Len Bias would have made a great difference. But they sacrificed him. You think the Super Bowl is scripted? She hates nachos. I don't think. I know it's scripted. I don't think. I know it's scripted. All of them been scripted. I'm reading that book, Interference, and they talking about the first Super Bowl with Kansas City. Look at okay. Here goes a thing about why do you think they played in the game? What was the game they played in the Ice Bowl up in Green Bay in '66 before the first Super Bowl? It's like minus 30, something like that, and they still play the game. What sense does that make? What sense does that make? When they made Cincinnati do it with Chris Collinsworth, and it was like minus 20 something. Why? The gambling money. That's why. That money is with the gamblers, and they can't delay it, so that's why they put them out there. Remember, after Kennedy got killed, they didn't cancel the games. Kennedy gets killed Tuesday, Thursday, something like that. Sunday still had the games because that money ain't going nowhere. NBA has a playoff commercial. ESPN, someone shot the ball. It was spinning like a top in all types of directions. They do mocking too. Hey, Black Trunks, what's happening? Sports is scripted in general. Absolutely. Absolutely. They don't even try to hide it anymore. No, they don't. They don't. They even brag about it. How many championships did Boston win after Bias died? I don't think they won any. They didn't win any. Their last championship with Larry Bird was 83. So, yeah, he would have helped. And then I don't know if it would have came the same, but with Len Bias there and they would have got Reggie Lewis, that'd have been a tough team to deal with. Yeah, that'd have been a tough team to deal with. If things would have went the same and the Reggie Lewis came there, and then they both ended up passing. In the Chicago Stadium, the ball went down the hoop different than it did in the United Center. That's interesting. They had some crappy seats in Chicago Stadium, too. I started going to that place as a young boy because that's where the Black Expos was. And then I started going to them as a man. I was like, oh, this place is old. You see the 1987 Jordan tip-off dunk. Looks like he grew a foot longer suddenly. Oh, interesting. Wow. Could be. How the hell Joe Namath guarantee a Super Bowl against the best team in the league? Johnny Unitas said, exactly. And watch that Super Bowl. When they do the not a flea flicker, but what they did, I'm trying to think. Oh, okay. What it did, they ran the reverse and then they threw it back, but they had them fooled. And you got Bobby Orr, not Bobby Orr, Jimmy Orr. You have number 28 wearing a single face mask. He doing like this in the end zone. And Earl Morra, the play is designed for Jimmy Orr to get the pass. He is the first option. And Earl Morra doesn't throw it to the end zone to the dude by himself. He throws it into a crowd of people for interception. And Johnny Unitas don't play to the last quarter. So, yeah. And as we talked the other night about Joe Namath should not be in the Hall of Fame. He got, what did you say, PJ? More interceptions than touchdowns. He got the most pick six out of any player. How he in the Hall of Fame? Because he won one Super Bowl. And he only won that Super Bowl because they wanted people to accept the AFL. That's why they won it, and then the Chiefs won it, I think, the next year. Like, look, as much as I love Otis Taylor, look at that missed tackle against Otis Taylor that kind of gave the Chiefs the game against the Vikings that shut everybody down. Shit. And that Colts team, that's back when I want to say, let me get this right here. Yeah, the Colts team shut down. No, Leroy Kelly. Where is it? And Leroy Kelly led the league in rushing in 68, 69, 68. He had 16 touchdowns, and the Colts shut him down. Because, Leroy Kelly was after Jim Brown. So, yeah, Joe Namath was not good. Hey, Valerie, you got to give me your size. Barbara, give me your size too, because if I go out, I want to know the right sizes. Or y'all can always email me at eaglesarethe@gmail.com. Remember, I got scrambled brains, so it's Eagle are the bomb. What do you think of the 3-1 lead blowed by the Warriors in the finals? Not believable. Unbelievable. But their whole season wasn't believable. For them to win all those games wasn't believable. And remember what they did. That season and the season before, they was beating teams by the end of the first quarter. Remember that? Look at how many games Steph in the start and Clay didn't even play in the fourth quarter because the agenda for that whole season and the season before was to beat teams in the first quarter. They'd be up 15, 20 points in the first quarter. Now, college, and that's what was so ridiculous about the championship game. Do you know during the regular season how hard it is to come back on a 20-point lead in college? It's almost impossible during the college game. Chris Webber, gosh, I'm trying to think that after his rookie year, he was talking about how college and how bad the referees was. But in college, it's almost impossible to come back from 20-point lead. Almost impossible. The NBA is very similar sometimes. And, yeah. It's no way. It's no way. But Steph and them was winning all them games in the first. By halftime, you know how many of them games was over by halftime? So that was their way of scripting it. Get them a big lead. And then they, Steph's shooting it from the locker room. They counting it, 8 or 9 points from the locker room. Steph just throwing the ball out the locker room and the ball's going through the crowd and going in. And they getting like 20 points before the game even starts. So, of course, it was some BS to give LeBron one. Prime example, Tampa Bay, Super Bowl at home. The winner was Tampa Bay. LA's at home, LA. And they had never done that in the history of the Super Bowl. I remember Dion was on talking about that. It never happened. Well, it did. You seen Drake call today? You see the Draymond call? Which one? There was a couple on him. Yeah, but I did. I saw that, King. Look good. People accept him like the NFL. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Make the AFC. Yeah. Make the AFL teams. Whoops. Yep. There we go. Wow, I've been going this long. Yeah, it used to be the AFL, though. If you would like to, thank you, Valerie. Thank you. Joe Namath is absolutely trash. He really is. Now, I'll say this for him. If you want to study to teach a boy how to throw that quick release, Joe Namath is a perfect example of that. Now, after where the ball went, no. But the two quarterbacks, to me, if you wanted to teach a child how to throw, is Joe Namath, Jeff George, and Dan Marino. If you really want to get a guy to work on the muscle memory for the quick release, especially if you know a child that like Mike Vick had a gun, could just flick the ball. But those mechanics are the best. His mechanics of the delivery is one of the best. I put him over. I put him over almost everybody mechanic-wise. I put Jeff George mechanics over people. Now, again, he never played for a good team, but I'm just saying mechanics, not how the career went. I'm just saying mechanics-wise, Jeff George, Marino, and Namath, their releases were different than most people's. But yeah, he shouldn't be in the Hall of Fame. Wasn't a real football player, I tell you. Kirk Cousins, Joe Namath. Cousins. I take Cousins over Namath. I take Cousins over Namath. Email sent. Okay, thank you, Barbara. Thank you. And then, I might have time to go out there tomorrow. I'm not sure, but I have to go out there and get my hat. So I'll be out there about no later than Thursday. But I want to go to the crystal store and get some new crystals too, and send some new crystals out. Plus, if I can get more Palo Alto, more sage, and just send all this stuff out too, because this is actually a good deal. All that for $10 was really not a bad deal. I'm glad you mentioned it. Was a video YouTube where they talked Joe Namath predict the Super Bowl. It looked high and low for that video, but can't find it on YouTube. It would have been, I want to say, well, it was a bunch of different angles of them interviewing him. So Wild World of Sports, Kurt Gowdy seemed like he was, because they're at the beach. No, let me get that right. One time, they was interviewing him at the beach is when he said it. He said it more than once, though. He said it a couple of times. He was at the beach, they interviewed him. And, they caught him. Yeah, the first time he said it, he's in a corner. Okay, so the first time he said it, he's in a corner, and he said, they were saying how good Earl Morrall was, and Joe Namath said, we got 5 or 6 quarterbacks in the AFL that's better than Earl Morrall. Not necessarily Johnny Unitas, but better than Earl Morrall. And then he talked shit to him. Then they interviewed him on the beach. So there's 2 of them. On the beach, he's sitting and they're all around him and he's signing autographs. And he said it again. But the first time you might catch, the one that's more noticeable is when he's kind of like against a wall. But if you can catch that second one, he's sitting down like on a chair at the beach and he says it again. So, okay, Barbara, cool. Cool. Thank you. College points, way more. That's funny. College points, way more. They gave the Warriors a record, but not the championship. Exactly. Chris Paul, incoming choker. Yeah, the lovable loser. LeBron's getting gifted. Same to keep the Jordan debate going. Kinda. I still don't say they above Wilt. I mean, Wilt could have played today and dominated. Matter of fact, Wilt would have dominated Shaq. Wilt is probably one of the strongest men that ever lived. Listen to Arnold, what Arnold say about him, but just look at his workouts. Wilt would have dominated Shaq. Wilt would have backed Shaq down and power dunked and then blocked his shit. That is how strong Wilt was. Shaq wouldn't have been able to push Wilt out the way. He'd have been able to push Bill Russell out the way, but he wouldn't have been able to push Wilt out the way. And Wilt was the only one I saw block Kareem's hook consistently. It's like Kareem would throw that shit and Wilt would be up. Boom. I mean, Wilt's vertical. There's one video show Wilt of like 50-some inches in the air. He's like, one video they show where his hand is this much higher than the top of the backboard. The top. I'm talking about the top of the square. They measured, it's 51 inches, and his hand is this far over the top of the backboard where he jumped straight up. No athlete been like that. And, they didn't let him win. He was the bad guy. He played the bad guy. Tom Brady and the Patriots winning the Super Bowl 7 times, making it 10 times is the most scripted thing in sports history. Exactly, Black Trunks. Exactly. Yeah. Sounds like cheers screaming outside. Branches screaming. Banshees. How good was Steve McNair? As I said before, he was really groomed to play in NFL. If you watched him play in college, and I got a couple seasons of watching him because he started up. Normally Alcorn wouldn't be on TV, but when McNair played, he got to play. He played in a pro-style offense, so he knew the verbiage, and that's a big thing is you got to know the verbiage. That's what I like about the USFL. They give you some of the verbiage so you understand the calls. But again, having that pro style, knowing the verbiage, knowing the reads. You know, he was kind of groomed, nice sized dude that really was more of a passer, but had the mobile ability. That's what made him even better than Vince Young. Vince Young, accuracy, his mechanics weren't the greatest, but could have been a winner. I think McNair really could have been, or Vince Young. So I like McNair. I thought he had a good game. They didn't put a lot of his Super Bowl run. Again, they made him come up short. Still can't believe Seattle didn't run the ball. I mean, my best friend and I were sitting to each other, and it was like, oh shoot. And I don't think did I lose money on that game? I don't think I bet on that Super Bowl. Yeah, because my daughter was little, and I don't think I was able to get my bets in that day. And anyway, when they came out in that formation, and my best friend to tell you, I said, they're going to pass? That's what I was like, if I know they're going to pass, and like the Super Bowl I called, not this past Super Bowl, the Super Bowl before, you can watch my video on this channel, or maybe it was taken. No, I want to say it might be on this channel. I don't think it was taken off. I think I did it on this channel. And I'm sitting there looking at the formation, and I called. I said, Gronk about to go under. And they're on the goal line, and sure enough, Gronk is on the right-hand side, and he comes under, and then Brady hits him. You know, he comes down the line. You know, the ball snapped. He comes down the line. Brady play actions. You know, he comes down the line, and he hits him. Now, if I only watched a couple games to see that formation. So if I can recognize the formation that they're going to run him underneath, you can't tell me that players that are constantly studying can't see it. Because I'll sit there, and then you can look at the video. I caught it. I'm like, Gronk, they're about to throw under the Gronk. And I think that's why that video did so well, because I sit there and called it. But yeah, was Steve McNair's sacrifice? His angry ex murdered him? No, it was like his girlfriend. You know, he's married to somebody else. But yeah, he was sacrificed. Was it for other brothers to play quarterback? Could have been. Was it for his success? As I said before, Alcorn ain't a team that, this is before Deion. Alcorn, you know, like A&T was Division II. Alcorn was like almost damn near Division III kind of black college. It was a small black college. So their games generally ain't on TV. But when they had him, they was on TV. So that makes you like, and so for his career, some of these dudes, that's what happens. And so whatever ritual that was going on at that time, he was the blood sacrifice for it. So yeah, I think he was. Hey Key, how you doing, man? I'm a young cat, 90s baby. So when it comes to mechanics and absolute spin on the ball, I have to go with Matthew Stafford, very underrated quarterback. Yeah, you know, I'll say, yeah. I would say he is in the vein of Marino. I would say he is more in the vein of Marino. Yeah. Where he puts Lester Hayes, the way he said about Marino, he's like, the ball went by my ear. I'd never heard a ball, you know, make that noise go by my ear. I would put Stafford like Marino. Probably not as big a guy. I think Marino was a little taller guy, but yeah. I would include. Yeah, I would include him. I guess I didn't think about that. Yeah, I would include. He has a great release. He would be in the mode of those. Yeah, I would agree with that. Steve McNair was a great QB. Yeah, I liked him. I did. I liked him. What would be Giannis and Shaq combined in today's game? See, what people fail to realize is not only would Wilt beat your shit, if it caused a fast break, he run it. Wilt played some seasons. He played, you know, there's only 48 minutes in the game. Wilt averaged something like 49, 50 minutes because, you know, overtime. No one could do that today. And not breaking down. Like the year they won the championship, he had broke his hand. The year he won the championship, watching when they won in what, 72, I think 72. Look, he has his hand padded because he had broke it, and he still played. You know, he was trying to say, well, Wilt's, you know, his talents is going down. When Will retired a year or two later, he got offered an ABA contract to play for the San Diego Conquistadors of the ABA. And I want to say Jack King Cook, before Bus bought the team, it was still Jack King Cook. He was still under contract because when he retired from the NBA, he was still under contract. so they wouldn't let him play. So he coached the Conquistadors. But and people forget, Wilt played pro volleyball. Wilt played pro volleyball. No, they don't. I mean, they try to make him irrelevant. Oh, you think he was sacrificed? I'm sorry. Okay. I think he was sacrificed for Vince Young. Maybe. Vince did win the national championship, so that, probably doomed his pro career. That's possible. I hadn't thought about that, about Vince. Could be. Was more athletic than Jordan, literally twice his size. Oh, way more athletic. He was a good athlete, super athlete. I don't really like Bill Russell's championships. Bill Russell wasn't very good, but he was a great rebounder. He was the first person other than Wilt that blocked shots, that wanted to block shots, not because of his size. Remember, both of their careers, when they were young, you could go 10, both of their careers. Bill Russell was older than Wilt by 3 or 4 years, I think. Yeah. Let me see. I think Wilt's, because Wilt went to the Globetrotters after his junior year. So I think Wilt's rookie year was 59-60. I think Bill Russell won at San Francisco 55 and 56. So yeah, Bill Russell was probably 3 years older. So most of their young career, you could go 10. I mean, they didn't put the gold 10 in until I think the mid 50s, late 50s. So they could go 10. So they wanted to block shots because they could go 10, and that's what got them both to blocking shots. But like Bill Russell has some monster games. I think Bill Russell has some 25, 30 rebound games too, where it's like he got all the rebounds. But he was looked at, again, a guy who was given the college championships. They gave him, all those, because when he hits the wire to give the Lakers the ball back, that's pretty much game. And then not to pass it to Wilt. Wilt could jump 50 inches in the air over, and he was going to catch it. Yeah. Havlicek steals it. That was a bunch of BS. So, yeah, they gave him a better team. Somebody just blasted Bob Cousy. He was like, Bob, those was the only years you could play. Matter of fact, by the time he got Russell, Cousy shit, and Cousy was like Elvis Presley. Cousy was watching the Globetrotters and the brothers play, and then Cousy was bringing that to the NBA, going behind the back, no-look passes. No, you was just given the opportunity to do that where brothers wasn't. A lot of brothers wasn't given that opportunity. I'm glad you mentioned that, Pontiac. Wilt and Shaq shook hands, and you can see the way Shaq got pulled in by Wilt. Yeah, Wilt. Shaq wouldn't have been bullying it. And he was a better chiseled dude than Shaq. Shaq wasn't as chiseled as Wilt. Wilt was a chiseled dude. Seahawks could get rewarded a scripted Super Bowl in 5 years. Since they won one, they'd have no problem giving them another one. My aunt met me there, and he's his wife. She told me she's a bitch. Maybe that's why he cheated on her. That's funny, Lorenzo. That's real funny. Maybe that's why he cheated on her. Did anybody see the picture that was passing around of I think the brother or the person that got drafted, and he had a European girlfriend? Did you see the look? The mama was looking at like the European girlfriend is looking like, I'm about to get the bag. She's looking like that. The mom was looking at her. Did y'all catch that picture? That picture said it all. The girlfriend is like, oh, I'm about to get the bag. And the mama's looking at her like, damn, I don't want you to get a penny. That's funny. She was stuck up. Okay. Speaking of history, speak on greatest Elgin Baylor, a true forgotten legend due to not winning the big chip. I tell you, I've told this story before. Elgin Baylor and them used to play in D.C., between and people forget he was in the National Guard, so he would be in the guard all week and then playing certain games on the weekend. So he missed and I'm going off a little bit. Willie Mays, they took 5 years away from Willie Mays too. People don't mention that, but anyway, I read a story about when Elgin Baylor was younger, and they played a game where this pickup ball, of course, where you could only dunk. This is like 58, 55, 56, or 57. And the only way you could score is you had to dunk. And they was just talking about, the way Elgin Baylor was just dunking on everybody. But it was like they played a game where, in the 50s, where all you could do is dunk. No jump shots. You could just dunk. And just saying how dominant he was at 6'5", 6'6". So, yeah. It's sad about him that he quit that team because he didn't his ego kind of got in the way. They was looking at, because he had knee problems his last 2 or 3 years. And again, the technology isn't what it is today. And they was like, we're going to let you, come off the bench. So, you'll be a little fresher because your knees bother you, take away some of your minutes. And his ego was in the way that he quit that team. He quit that team. Wow. I used to mess with this girl that was a babysitter. Oh, wow. I thought you were about to say you just smashed up in his house. Shaq couldn't handle Kareem. Damn well he couldn't handle Wilt. Now, Kareem would have gave him issues all night. And Kareem would have stood there with Shaq, too. He wasn't going to bully Kareem either. I didn't watch the game today. That fool Smart had green dye in his hair. Yeah, he did. He was flopping all around, too. He was flopping all around. There was, at one point, it looked like he had got a stinger and he ran in the back, but it's just said it's a stinger, which, it hurt like hell for a minute, then it go away. He'll play the Joker. It's always one. Pistol Pete could definitely. Oh shoot! What did they say? Dale Brown said they went back and did Pete's games, and if it was threes, he would average 56. Or I think it was Dale Brown that said that they went back or maybe it's the new LSU coach, but they went back and charted all his games for all 4 years. I think he only played 3 years of varsity. I don't think the freshman could play when he was a freshman. And he would have averaged, and people forget, he averaged 44 points a game for 3 years. But they said if 3 points would have been, he would average 56 points. No one would ever average 44 points again. Not with the three. Yeah, he was probably one of the best shooters the game has ever seen. And I would say ball handling, again, 50 years later, when they do your drills, that tells you the way you practiced, that tells you his greatness. That's how great he was, that they still today teach his ball handling drills. He was probably one of the best ball handler passers ever. I mean, his passing gets overshadowed. But he was a dude, like they had a chance to put Dr. J in the league, vetoed it. Dr. J was about to play for Atlanta. I mean, to say Shaq couldn't handle Hakeem. Oh, no. Shaq couldn't handle Tim Duncan. Remember when Tim Duncan just destroyed him? Tim Duncan was catching it like a little lower than the elbow and just destroying Shaq. I mean, just destroyed him. He destroyed Garnett one series, and then he destroyed Shaq the next. I mean, Tim Duncan. You think Tim Duncan would have destroyed Wilt? Tim Duncan wouldn't have destroyed Bill Russell at 6'9". 6'9" Bill Russell would have checked Tim Duncan. I saw when an NFL player got picked, the girl tried to be in the spotlight and saw the mom grab her and pull her away. Yeah. I read about that. I didn't see it, but yeah, Sean, I read about that. Like, no, get up out of here. The most clutch role player of all time, Robert Horry. I'll say, Big Shot Bob. I don't know if he's the greatest clutch player, but he wasn't scared of the moment. I'll agree with that. He was not scared of the moment. Yo, you didn't hit it at his house. Because I done been at people's houses. I'm like, yeah, I hit it at such and such house. I'll tell you how doggish I was. So me and my friend was liking this girl, and he didn't know. She lived like across I lived in a townhouse, so she lived literally across the street from me in my townhouse. And so I was with her more than he was, but he was older to be, called himself liking her. And so I was over there and he came in and he wasn't gonna do nothing to me. We'd have been fighting all day. He just knew it wasn't gonna be no quitting me. So he wasn't gonna do nothing. Plus my cousins and everybody would have beat him up too. So he'd have got whooped by everybody. But he came in and I'm sitting in there and when she was sitting in there, she had a big pillow. So I had been messing with her, but she had the pillow on top. And so he comes in there and I ain't pulled my hand away. So my hand is between her legs and I've been messing with her. So he came in, he had his hand around her. We started watching a movie. Now she's got the pillow and my hand is between her legs and I'm like playing with her. And he's got his hand around her all hugged up. And we was both laughing at him. And she was sitting there just laughing. That was the dog in me. We was both laughing at him. She's like, look at this fool. I imagine Wilt and Pistol Pete with modern medicine and footwear. They was balling Converse. Nope, yeah. You know, Kareem was one of the first to really wear the All-Star Adidas, Superstar Adidas. You know, the Superstar Adidas. Wilt was wearing them. Or not Wilt, Kareem was wearing the Superstar Adidas. Connie Hawkins. Look at Connie Hawkins. I mean, Connie Hawkins played in Rucker on that concrete. Well, blacktop, probably blacktop with Chuck Taylors. I played one season because when I was in 7th grade, I wore the blue Pro Kids, suede or nubuck. When I was in 8th grade, high tops, I wore the suede red Pro Kid high tops, turn your socks colors. I wore the Superstars. They had the stripes was red, white, and blue nylon mesh Superstars. I wore that as a freshman. And then when I was a sophomore, they gave us 2 pair of Converse, a game pair and a plastic pair, and a game pair and a practice pair. And it literally destroyed my shins to the point, because the junior year, the schools quit buying shoes. We bought our own shoes. But the damage it did to my shins really lasted me my whole high school career. Just one season of wearing those destroyed my shins. My shins were so bad that the doctor really didn't want me to play. I had played like 10 or 11 games and he wanted me to quit playing. I mean, I've told the stories before. I had to go an hour before practice and put heat on my legs. We had to do the same thing for games. So if we had a game that day, I had to go down there because, you know, senior, you ain't got classes in the afternoons, and afterwards. And afterwards, we had to stay an hour at the games. The home games was a little easier. Sometimes I'd come in maybe the next day or the next morning. If it was a Friday night, come in Saturday. But I had to heat my legs before practice, and I had to do it again after practice. Yeah, it wasn't fun. It wasn't fun. Wearing them terrible shoes. Yep. Shaq couldn't handle Yao. That's funny. The most rigged championship in NBA history is the Lakers winning it in the bubble. Yeah. No, that's not a championship. It wasn't. That was a joke. Jeremy Lin. That's one. I just saw it recently, and that shit had me cracking up. Yeah, that's the one. Liquid Fire, how you doing? Oh, Mocha, how you doing? Thank you for joining. I don't know how much longer I'm going to go. I'm in a pretty good mood. And I can't go, I'm going to have to get a little rest. Got a lot to do tomorrow. I got to get my ass up and do a few things for the man calls me in. Be like, hey, this is the man. You said you was going to come be with the man today. He's super overrated, you asked me. I would give him his credit, though, that Eastern Conference Championship Series versus Detroit in 07, he scored the Cavs final 25 points. Yeah, that was one of the greatest. And again, they're scripted, but that game, because they had Chris Webber, Rasheed Wallace, Prince. Everybody talking about Prince playing defense. Prince wasn't playing defense that day. LeBron was torching his ass. And then the one where he goes down the middle and he punches over all of them. That was kind of LeBron's coming out, showing his true skill, his true potential against men. Because that team had won it the year or two before. So, well, I'll do the divination. I better, let me see. Now, was it you, Lobo, that said spit hot fire? Somebody said that today. You know, that's the Dayline thing. Dayline. I spit hot fire. I was watching the Godfather, and Fredo goes, "I'm smart. I deserve respect." Hey brother, E, what's happening? How you doing? The bookies profit go up every time Golden State Warriors miss free throws. They do, no doubt. Oh yeah, Kobe died the same year. They won every Western Series 4-1 due to Kobe's age. Won the finals 4-2. Yep, that's a good one, Lorenzo. That's a good one. But yeah, I am smart and I deserve respect. It's still The Godfather 2, where Al Pacino got the cigarette in his hand and he slaps his wife, and he still, when he slaps her, he's still holding the cigarette. He still got the square in his hand, and he slaps her, and after the slap, he still got the square in his hand. That shit is so funny. I think over the other channel, I kept going that back and forth because that shit it's just so funny. I mean, it's like, how long you gonna talk shit? You see this man is steaming. You can't talk shit to this man forever. So that shit was so funny. So, oh, here we go. So this is why I'm wearing purple tonight, because this is kind of my favorite card. It is day 19 in the Mayan calendar, which is Shock. So, or Kawak. Kawak, storm, fire, rain, qualities, final surrender, purification, transformation, reunion, activation of the light body, thunder beam, lightning path, initiation by fire, ecstasy of freedom, symbols, thundercloud, lightning, or the white owl. Number 19, color is royal purple. What's the difference? Is it all purple, royal purple? Is this royal purple? It's like, this is two different colors of purple, so which one is royal? The one with more blue in it? Kawak. Herbs are garlic, flowers, purple iris, flower essence, rose of Shannon, transformation, Judas tree, lifting despair. Scents are mistletoes or frankincense. Stones are sugarlight, purple fluorite, tanzanite, showerite, ametrine. It is a water element. But the shadow wisdom being denial, fear of the unknown, issues of addiction, strong feeling of despair or separation from source, judging your physical transformation process, feeling futility and despair. But the shadow transformation, step free from denying and judging your experience. Access your essence self to carry you through the intense feelings that accompany profound growth. Turn your transformation over to spirit, surrendering all that perpetuates the illusion of separations. His harmonic wisdom is freedom, mudra. Clasp the hand at the heart, interlocking fingers. Then with extension, rise the clasped hands over the head and explosively while purifying, making a purifying sound. So what you do is, I guess they're saying, start here and then going here and going and you would make the affirmation: I am purifying and transforming myself, igniting my light body and healing all separation. Meditation, enter the wave of ecstasy beyond the finite dance of the swirling veils. Fragments of the greater self gathering, moving forward, rise up unveiled, horizons await. So if you want a little push, the direction is from the west. And so if you need a little push, wear purple. You know, you need to manifest. Maybe look in the east and, manifest what you desire. See if you can get a little push. And as I leave, I'll say, Mora, it all starts with a gentle sadness. They came from their original homeland and knew that they had exact numbers of years and days before they would leave the earth as a culture and a lifestyle. But the civilization would build to a gentle love. They lived in the Creator's day and knew how to separate cycles in the great serpent, which is the Milky Way. And to all out there, remember, I am another yourself. And that isn't, you don't necessarily have to possess people to see their point of view, but in a way that's kind of how it happens. You know what they say, you have to be in their shoes? Well, it is easy to flash in somebody's shoes just to get the point of view where they're coming from. what do they say? Get out of my head. You can get into other people's heads. So to see where they're coming from. So remember, you're another yourself. And so tonight, as we all go into our creation ball field they call beds, regardless of what kind of bed you have, just know that everything in your room is enough to keep you safe. You have made no agreement to be attacked in your dream screen or wherever you think dreams go. You have made no agreement to be attacked. So may your rest be peaceful. May the things that you put in your room protect you, because things that you put in your room appreciate you putting them there. And so they give you a little spiritual jump because you put them there. Even though, they're just things sometimes, you put them there, and they like that they have a function in your life so they can protect you. And that's the only intention you have to have. And that'll be enough. And so rest well. And if you are working right now, may the rest of your time at work be safe. May it be as challenging as it needs to be to keep your mind fulfilled during the time. And may you as well go home safely and have a safe night. And may your nights be safe. And may your ride home and you have peaceful time. And remember, love just is. You can't add anything to it. It just is. And remember that the days are long, but the years are short. When they had monthly as Linsanity, my Knicks started him a point guard, but when he played against the Heat in the playoff, Mario Chalmers had him so locked down he couldn't get the ball. Past midcourt, I remember that. I remember that. Straight up exposed. Liquid fire. Yes, thank you for joining me. Barbara, thank you. Thank you for joining me. And I think I got that from Barbara. Valerie, send me your size 2. So get this stuff off. Yeah. Hopefully I get everything off this weekend. Have to see. There you go. There you go. Yes. So definitely until we meet again. We're gonna have nice weather. So we're walking to and from school this week. Maybe do a day show. Now I got to work, so I don't know. I don't know if I'm picking her up this week. Her mom's probably going to pick her up. But it's supposed to be nice all week, so don't know if I'm going to do a daytime show. But remember, I'll be off Monday night, Tuesday night. I'll be back on Thursday morning. So thank you for joining me. Till we meet again, as Barbara said, say less.